at the end of the day, buy whatever the hell you love. Like, buy that ish. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Choyce Tibbitts. If this is your first time here, welcome to the first place. And if it's not, welcome back. Okay, so watching this video back while I edit on like my big monitor, realize how crusty I look. So we're just gonna ignore the crustiness because I don't want to refilm this video. But just a little disclaimer. Have fun watching. Today I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a chattier video and kind of talk about kind of the key pieces to start your luxury collection and also what to think about when you're starting your luxury collection. I know there are a lot of these type of videos out on YouTube and I wanted to do one on my own channel as well because I actually have a different kind of opinion about some of these, and so I wanted to share, and I think there are some good ones if you want to kind of either start your luxury collection from scratch or continue to build off of some of the pieces you already have but do it in a really smart way. So if you like these type of videos, like fashion, luxury related videos, styling, menswear, definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit me with a thumbs up on this video, and let's just get started. Okay, so I have notes because I'm a planner. And also before we start, let's kind of talk about the elephant in the room. After really only wearing beige, gray, black, and like brownish tan, I've embraced the 70s fashion trend and picked up a few like really like fun springy pieces. This is from the Jaded X Curly Fried Feet collection. It's like the super cool swirling knit. I'll link it below if there's still pieces available, but I know some of the sizes are out. But it's a super nice quality material. I was actually shocked when I took it out of the bag because it was only like $100, but the quality of it feels very rich. But this is, yeah, my kind of outfit of the day. It's really gloomy out in New York and raining, so I'm like, you know what, let's bring the sunshine with the look. Anyway, thinking about like starting your luxury collection. So when I was planning this video and like taking notes last night, I was kind of thinking about what were the pieces that kind of started my luxury collection, and looking back, a lot of them like I never even use anymore. And some of them weren't smart, weren't well thought out, but actually over the last few years, I really like solidified both my style, what like I know I wear, and then also like, what I prioritize. So before I get into like what are the key pieces to start your luxury collection, I kind of just wanted to talk about like the 4 things to think about when you're starting to like buy luxury. So the first and the most important, I would say, is the cost per wear. So you hear a lot of people talk about like cost per wear. It's like, what's cost per wear? So pretty much it's like a little bit of math. So it's if you take the price of the piece that you buy and you divide it by the number of times you think you're gonna wear that piece. So, and the key is to get that number down as much as possible. So for example, if you buy an $1,000 bag, but you only wear it 4 times, the cost per wear is $250. So pretty much in your mind, you should think, okay, so it's like me spending $250 every time I wear this out to like dinner or like to an event or something. That's a lot of money. So the key is to buy pieces that you know you're gonna wear a lot for a long time. So that's like the first key thing you should think about when starting to build like your luxury collection and building kind of pieces that you'll have long term. You just really just wanna get as much wear out of the things that you buy as possible, right? Like that is kind of the goal. You don't want things to just sit on a shelf. In the long term, you kind of do, because like for example, like there's this video of Kris Jenner and it's her closet tour, and which is her closet is pretty much a boutique. It is a boutique actually. It's not pretty much a boutique. It's literally a store. Like there's seating and like different areas, but in it, like the person who's doing the tour with her is like, oh my gosh, it's like, there's so many things. She's like, well, you have to remember, this is 60 years worth of collecting. And I always think of that when I think of kind of building my luxury collection, building the pieces throughout my life so far. And I think like when I'm older and I want to look back and have like a whole collection of things, even things that may just be sitting on the shelf now, but at the time I wore a lot of and got the cost per wear out of, but then now they're kind of just pieces that sit within a collection and kind of I can have stories around and kind of memories around. So I always like to think of that video. But yeah, anyway, so all that to pretty much say cost per wear, it is an important aspect of kind of when you're building your luxury collection, starting to buy new pieces. So that's the first thing I would keep in mind. The second thing that you should keep in mind when starting to build your luxury collection and buying more of those kind of like key pieces that are going to kind of last you a while is to think about your style, like your own personal style, and your lifestyle. This is a key one. This is a very, very key one. So for example, know what your look is. And sometimes your look will evolve. Like that is kind of what's fun about fashion and like style, is that over time your look does evolve. Look at me, I'm wearing a freaking rainbow like colored knit, and I usually used to only wear like neutral tones. But knowing what kind of your baseline style is a good way to kind of determine what are the pieces that you are going to buy, if they are going to be more premium and luxury, that you're really going to get wear out of. And then the second part of this is your lifestyle. So knowing what you do on the day-to-day. For example, me, I live in New York now, so now my lifestyle takes weather into account. So I'm not gonna buy a lot of sandals or a lot of shorts, because I actually also don't wear shorts. But that's just not something that like fits in with my lifestyle. Or for example, like working, like my work is not very high fashion. Like I work in a very just like businessy environment. I have to keep it a little bit more conservative, and I wear more of my like fun pieces and do a lot of styling on the weekends or through my content. So picking up pieces that I know I'm really only going to be able to wear like on the weekends, that's another thing I have to keep in mind. So I only wear it 2 days out of the 7 days a week, then that's something for me to think about when I'm purchasing. Another one, which I think is very fun, is the third, and it's to think about the long term, not the short term. This is something that I think is important if you're kind of starting to build your collection, and also you kind of are more conservative in the amount of money you can spend. Don't try not to get distracted by less expensive designer pieces. So for example, if there's something that you really want but it's out of your price range, think about how much you want that item, and if it's worth it to just save and not buy the little like small wallet or the sunglasses that are going to be a bit cheaper that you can afford right now, and think, okay, I really want that piece of jewelry, or I really want that bag. Then maybe save, think about the long term minus the short term. Pretty much just don't get distracted by the goal, because the goal is to have fire pieces that you know you're gonna wear all the time, and you'd be super excited to take out your closet and like bring out on the streets, you know? And the last thing that you should think about before I get into kind of what are pieces that are great to start your luxury collection is don't count out the pre-loved market. So this is a big one. Now with like The Real, Vestiaire Collective, Fashion File, Rebag, Depop, Poshmark. There's so many, but there's so many opportunities for you to get those designer luxury pieces at a more affordable price, and also that's more sustainable too. So this is something that I think everyone should be thinking about, both in like with luxury buying and also just normal buying, is to look at pre-loved. So this can be things that you are really wanting, but maybe, like I mentioned before, are maybe a little out of your price range. This is a way for you to maybe get them sooner without having to save and spend the extra amount to get it brand new in the store. And I know within like the luxury community, some people like can turn their nose up to like preloads, but I honestly feel like that's starting to change. And honestly, I don't know why that's a thing, because at the end of the day, you're still getting the piece. And a lot of the time, the people who are buying these pieces, especially like more maybe trendier pieces or even classics, they have such a huge collection anyway, and they like to kind of recycle and kind of get rid of things and get new things. And the things that they're selling on these sites are like brand spanking new. So you can get literally pristine condition, sometimes even with tag pieces on these places like The Real, Vestiaire Collective, even Depop. So don't count it out. Okay, shall we get into the pieces that I think are really good to start a luxury collection? I think so. So the first is one I don't think I've ever really seen on one of these videos, but in my mind, it's really like a great way to start kind of buying into designer brands and buying into luxury. And it is designer fragrances. So you may think like, what the hell, designer fragrances? Like no one can even see that. But I think this comes down to the fundamental aspect of why we buy luxury pieces. I know for me personally, a lot of people are like, that's so expensive, you can buy that like at Zara. But for me, it's more about the feeling. Like I want to be able to put it on and know the money I've invested into the piece, it makes it really worth wearing for me. And also I love the meaning behind it. So maybe the craftsmanship or kind of understanding like the history of the brand. And at the end of the day, it's really just more about like feeling. It doesn't even have to have a logo for some of the things I have. It's just more, I like to know like, oh, I have this on, I have this piece, and it's like special to me. So by buying designer fragrances, which are more modest in price, you're able to still get that feeling. So for me, there's this fragrance, the Tom Ford Effing Fabulous fragrance, which I love. I put this on and I know, like, she's a bad witch. Let's go, you know? And it's pretty pricey, but let me tell you, actually, this has lasted me 2 years. I just finished it. Like, let me see. Is there anything in it? Oh, sad. But it lasted me I'm getting a little bit of whiff. It lasted me 2 years, and so I actually need to go buy a new one. But this fragrance is great. Also, Dior makes great fragrances. Givenchy makes a great fragrance. There are so many great designer fragrances, and also you can get them really anywhere. So you can get them at your Macy's, you can get them at your Nordstroms. Even some of your drugstores sell some of these designer fragrances. But if you are trying to go for like a fragrance like this, I know another big aspect of luxury is kind of the experience of buying. You can go into a Tom Ford and have an amazing experience where you work with an essay, smell all the fragrances. You can go into a luxury designer boutique or a department store like Bergdorf Goodman or Barney's. Oh, rest in peace, Barney's. And you can also have that kind of experience and then get one of these type of pieces. So I think this is a great way to kind of start your collection. The second, kind of thinking about cost per wear, is a card holder or a small leather good or wallet of some sort. So this is great because we use our wallets all the time. Well, there's Apple Pay now, but we're using our wallets all the time. So this is a great way for you to kind of buy into luxury brands. So I know for me, like I have my Givenchy wallet now, which I use all the time. But I think my first like luxury wallet was this Christian Louboutin blue spiked card holder that I used all the time. I think I even have it. I think I gave it to my sister, but even after I stopped using it, I still had it like on my dresser, just as like a piece like for memory's sake. But it was super fun, and I remember like getting it and like I got it at the Christian Louboutin store, I think in Los Angeles, and I wore that ish all the time and I loved it. So this is a great way for you to kind of start to buy into luxury brands. Like think about what designers and brands that you really love, like at their smaller, the good section, because this is a way for you to buy into the brand for under $1,000, sometimes under even $500. And have a piece that you're gonna wear all the time. Something that you'll also get your cost per wear down to pennies because you're literally wearing it every single day. What number are we at? I think 3? Yeah, I think we're at the 3rd. Yeah, so the 3rd thing to start your luxury collection that, in my opinion, that is great to think about is seasonal outerwear or sweaters and things like that. So these are pieces like my Ami turtleneck, which I'm obsessed with, or my brown distressed sweater from that one brand, what's it called? Ooh, I'm forgetting, but I got it in Hong Kong. I'll put a video or a picture here. Or my Yves Salomon coat. These are pieces that you're gonna bring out every winter. And they're great also because they're practical too. A lot of times, you know, luxury pieces aren't necessarily the most practical, but when you are buying seasonal outerwear, sweaters, jackets, coats, these are things that every season you're going to get a lot of wear out of, and they're practical because they're going to keep you warm. And also they're great ways to kind of build. So I know for me, every winter I try to buy a new coat or a new statement piece. And now I've been in New York for I think 6 years. I'm from California originally, so before there was no coat buying. But recently someone was like, oh my god, you have so many coats. And I was like, oh, well, it's actually because every year I make an effort to find those one or two pieces for the winter that are going to be great pieces for me to have and use every season. So now I kind of have a nice little collection. But just starting your luxury collection, buying outerwear for the winter season is a great way to kind of start to build those luxury pieces. So the 4th thing is going to be jewelry, but from a jewelry house. And this can either be modest or one of a more like high-priced fancy piece. But the key is buying a piece from a luxury jewelry house, not costume jewelry. So I'm talking about your Cartiers, your Bulgaris, your Tiffany's. These are the pieces I think you want to buy into when you're first starting your luxury collection because these are classics. They're also made of like the highest quality material. Costume jewelry, you're really just paying for the brand. But when you're buying from like a Cartier or Tiffany, these are classic and like kind of pristine jewelry houses. And they're pieces that you'll kind of have forever. So I know for me, one of the first pieces I got was this Cartier love ring. But yeah, this is one of the pieces that started my luxury collection. I then ended up getting this, which is a little pricier, but also like a forever piece. I have a video of me unboxing this, which I'll link up above and down below. But by buying into these type of pieces, so like the Love collection or the Tiffany Tea collection, Bulgari Serpenti, or there's also this really cool like Bulgari like unisex bangle that I've recently discovered. But yeah, looking at brands like that when you're starting a luxury collection and looking to get into jewelry, that is another thing that I definitely keep in mind. So the fifth and final thing I'd look at when trying to build your designer luxury collection are shoes, boots, sneakers from design houses. This is one that I personally love, and also another thing I started my luxury collection with. It was these high top, super loud, and kind of obnoxious Giuseppe Zanotti sneakers, which I just got rid of, I think like a few months ago after having them from, I think I got those on my 17th birthday, 18th birthday. But anyway, looking back, what I do now is I buy into designer sneakers, designer boots, designer footwear that's a bit more classic. So I think of your common projects. I think of your like basic black boots. So like your Bottegas or like the Prada boots. I look at things that kind of are more classic silhouettes. Something that's not too trendy, because you'll also be able to wear it outside of the lifespan of a particular trend. So that's the last and final thing I'd look at when kind of starting to build your luxury collection. All of this to say though, at the end of the day, buy whatever the hell you love. Like if there's a piece that is super impractical for your lifestyle, is like super trendy, something you won't be able to wear that often, like super statement-y or like on special occasions, but you love it, buy that ish. Buy that ish. Because at the end of the day, the piece is supposed to just make you feel as great as possible. I feel like that's really the best part of luxury, is like the feeling you get from it. All these tips are really just things to think about in the back of your mind, but sometimes even for me, I'll find a piece, I'm like, I freaking love that. It doesn't fit into my lifestyle, it's super trendy, but you know what, I still love it, and I'll buy it anyway. This is just kind of foundational knowledge to kind of help you in your luxury journey. So if you are starting a luxury journey, or if you like these type of videos, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the tips I've provided below, and if you have any additional ones, I'd love to hear. Definitely want to try and hear from you guys as much as possible, and also do more of these chatty videos. I think it's a great way for us to kind of like have back and forth conversations, me to bring up random topics, share my opinion, all that jazz. But I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.